103.9 Proud FM in the Sean Prue Show. Well, here's a Canadian-born guy doing real well. From Montreal, Canada, Mike Ruiz is a sensation in so many different ways. He's a renowned photographer. You've just seen him on RuPaul's Drag Race. You're about to see him on Canada's Next Top Model, and he's on with us right now. Hey, Mike.
Hey.
Wow. Have you ever thought about trying to become a success in any way?
I'm working at it. Hopefully someday somebody will give me a break.
Well, you had some breaks because I know you went to L.A. to study acting, and you found the work kind of undemanding and unsatisfying. And here you are.
What I found it to be was terrifying.
Terrifying? Why?
Yeah. I had which fortunately I've grown out of. I had a crippling fear of speaking in front of people. So yeah, that.
And you
was
wanted to act.
Conducive to being a successful actor.
Those casting tryouts pretty freaky if that's the affliction.
Yeah.
So going on to the other side of the camera, was that a happy accident? How did that happen?
It was a very happy accident. Thank God for that. I actually got a camera for Christmas one year, believe it or not. I was modeling for a long time, and I was doing a lot of traveling, and I had mentioned to a friend of mine, I'm like, I should be documenting all of my travels somehow, photographically. So, he was kind enough and generous enough to buy me a camera, and I became bizarrely consumed and obsessed with shooting everything in sight, from insects to flowers, and finally settling on people, and the rest is history.
And some cool people, like everyone from Dolly Parton to Lindsay Lohan to Betty White, who was just on the show with us a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, was she?
What a doll.
Betty.
It'd be funny if you had settled on insects, instead of people. I'm glad you made that choice.
Yeah.
Who's the person you'd never work with again? Just tell them. Just between us.
Just between me, you, and the 8 million listeners.
Shh. No one's going to say.
Honestly, I get asked this question all the time, and I swear I'm not being PC. I don't have any bad stories. Aside from like a couple of crabby people, but I'm such a mellow, chill guy that, by the end of the shoot, everyone is happy, and everyone leaves the shoot with, very positive feelings. So,
what's the shortest amount of time you've ever had to work with somebody? I've heard these horror stories of, 2 and 3 minutes sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I had Sam Rockwell. I was actually in Toronto. He was doing a press junket, and I flew up. They flew me up there and put me up and, got me a bunch of assistants, and I literally had about, 3 minutes with
him. Oh, wow.
That's a lot.
Which is kind of cool, though, in the most bizarre sense, I would imagine.
It is. I certainly thrive under that kind of pressure, fortunately. It's kind of a unique situation. But a lot of times with celebrities, they allocate, you're getting an hour and that's it.
Yeah.
That happens pretty constantly.
We're going to take a break, Mike, and be right back. Glad you're with us here on the Pride of Toronto. 103.9 Proud FM and the Sean Prue Show, back with Mike Ruiz, Montreal boy, doing real well. We've been talking about his acting career leading to photography, modeling career, and back with him now. You were saying you're a pretty chilled guy, but what was it like being with all those screaming, nasty girls competing to be Canada's Next Top Model? Come on.
It was hideous. I left that experience with my tail between my legs.
I bet.
No, are you kidding? I'm the one who made them cry.
Really?
Yes, I'm the Simon Cowell of that show. No. Honestly, again, it was. I had a very limited amount of time because I was a judge, and I did do one photo shoot with them. But for the most part, I didn't really interact with them, on a daily basis. So I didn't really get to see the dynamics. So I'm actually looking forward to actually watching the show to see what how these girls really behave, when they're not being scrutinized by the judges.
So then I guess, you say scrutinized, I would ask you, what's it like to have to scrutinize and judge kids, really? They're just little babies, these girls.
It's a lot more difficult than I expected. I was like, it'll be easy. Because I've done guest appearances on America's Next Top Model and, various other competition shows. And, it's one thing to visit it for a day and then walk away from it. But, I got invested with these girls, and it was really hard. You'll see on camera, I shed more than one tear on the show when we had to send girls home. It was rough.
Interesting. Best part about it all, though?
Aside from Jeannie Becker and Yasmin, crazy wacky gals,
We've
Love-
heard,
we know them both here on the show. I'll just put it this way. Yasmin's been on the air with us.
Oh, she has?
Live.
Oh, I hope she's listening. Hey, Yazzie.
Yasmin, I love you. Yasmin Warsame.
She's crazy. I love her. We were totally like a couple of 5-year-olds on the set, like poking each other under the table and stuff. It was actually a lot of fun. That's my fondest recollection of the whole thing, is because I sat right next to Yazzie on the judging panel.
Right.
We would draw like mustaches on the girls. Stuff. So, you know, we tried really hard to like stay composed while we were on camera, but that was that was a lot of fun.
Mike, is there a signature to your images? I mean, people use a certain kind of film quality or a certain kind of lighting. Do you have a sort of a signature that goes through all your work?
There is, and it's less of a technical treatment and more of a point of view, because I do such a wide variety of things, but the thing that ties it all together is just my point of view, which is very aspirational, and I tend to look through rose-colored glasses in general in life. Any imagery that I create has got to reflect that. So everything that I shoot is very perfect in a surreal kind of fantastical way.
Speaking of surreal, what's this I heard about you've just met with Tracy Lords about relaunching her music career?
Oh, yeah.
That's a
Tracy's
crazy woman. I love her.
She's amazing. You know, and
Former porn star.
Former porn star.
Melrose Place star.
You know, she's very prolific. She's very accomplished. She's done a lot of really great stuff. You know, she's been doing a lot of acting over the years, and I just keep telling her, like, you know, her music that's kind of wet, you know, especially with the boys.
Yeah.
I think that's where
She has a
I
place.
don't know. Like, I just feel really strongly that she's going to have a monster hit. And I actually hooked her up with Sylvia Tosin and Anton Bass of Cetus on Records, and they're amazing songwriters. So we're all collaborating on a track for Tracy.
You're a busy man, and it brings me back to my first question. Why don't you try and make a success out of yourself?
I don't know. I think I'm just an underachiever.
Put some discipline into it.
You know, get out there.
Big loser.
Get out there. Mike Ruiz, thanks for your time today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All the best.
All right. Take
You're
care.
listening to Predator on the Sean Prue Show.